Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com. Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen suffers humiliating rejection after flying to El Salvador to meet with alleged MS-13 gang member Abrego Garcia. We're talking about this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundits Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundits Week in Review. We cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today, Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen suffers a humiliating rejection after flying to El Salvador. It's interesting. Christina Lila reports our top story. Well, it turns out the Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen flew all the way to El Salvador for a photo op in his flight to smuggle deported MS-13 gang member Abrego Garcia back to the U.S. I just landed in San Salvador a little while ago, and I look forward to meeting with the team at the U.S. Embassy to discuss the release of Mr. Abrego Garcia, Van Hollen said. I also hope to meet with Salvadorian officials and with Kilmer himself. He was illegally abducted and needs to come home, he added. Check out the video we have here where he's talking about this. Watch.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city, looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And I do want to thank our Foreign Service officers and the whole team at this embassy and embassies around the world for all the good work they do on behalf of our country. I'm proud to co-chair the bipartisan Foreign Service Caucus that stands up for the men and women who are serving our country overseas and at home in the State Department. After that, I hope to meet with some high-level government officials from El Salvador. As I've said before, the goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Abrego Garcia. I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful. I also hope to have the chance to meet with him, but we'll have a better idea if that works out a little later on.
Yeah, pretty shocking stuff. I mean, look, the fact is he's going out of his way to what? To figure out or to find out why we deport an MS-13 member? Now, it's kind of weird for me. I'm not that supportive of sending Americans to overseas prisons. Like, I don't think we should be doing that at all. I think that's a very dangerous precedent. But accordingly, these are apparently foreign nationals. So it's kind of hard. And also, if you're part of a foreign gang, I don't like the precedent of still sending you overseas because, like, then what gang does the next administration count? Like, if you're a part of a pro-Christian church, and can they ship you off because they changed the definition of what a terrorist is, right? Now you fall into that category. I don't think this is a good policy. I think it's very dangerous. But you let me know what you think. That being said, it turned out that Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen says his request made of the VP of El Salvador to visit Abrego was actually denied. He was in a press conference. But before we talk about that, I want to remind you guys that we are witnessing a generational decline in men's testosterone levels. What are these losers that are going out causing all, trying to get MS-13 members, get their attention, get them to like them? What are you weirdos doing? Well, obviously, testosterone's down because of lifestyle choices, diet, exposure to environmental toxins. This decline can result in a persistent fatigue, diminished strength, reduced libido, mood swings, and overall loss of vitality, keeping you from feeling like your best self. Take control of your vitality with Man's Edge from Nutronics Labs, the natural solution to support healthy testosterone levels. Man's Edge is more than just a standard booster. It combines powerful ingredients like fenugreek, IGF-1, NO2, and more to help you feel your best. Studies show that fenugreek increases testosterone levels by 46%. Plus, unlike traditional powders and pills, Man's Edge offers up to 98% absorption, ensuring you receive the full benefits of these clinically proven ingredients. By the way, check it out today, and you can save 50% on auto ship, buy one, get one free when you pick up your bottle of Man's Edge, which I always keep buying me at all the time. We're always getting on edge on this show. But that being said, reclaim your lost youth and energy. Visit the link below now or go to tboostnow.com. Use promo code Elijah to save 10%. That's TBOOSTNOW.com. Promo code Elijah to buy one, get one free, and get 10% off. That's such a good deal. All right, let's watch this video, and here's what happened during the rejection.
Sustainable and unjust moment. So it cannot continue this way. I also told his wife and family that I would try to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia while I was here. So I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCOT. I said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CCOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. He said he was not able to make that happen. I asked, he said he need a little more time. I asked him if I came back next week, whether I'd be able to see Mr. Abrego Garcia. He said he couldn't promise that either. So I asked him if I could get on the phone, either video phone or just a phone, and talk to Mr. Abrego Garcia. So I could just ask him how he's doing so I could report back to his family. He said he could not arrange that. He said maybe if the American embassy were to ask, maybe that could happen. So I will certainly ask the American embassy to ask the government of El Salvador to connect us by phone.
Look, these kind of stunts, I don't think they really do anything but make people doubt that anything is actually real anymore in this country. It's such a weird situation. That being said, government fights to bury the truth of January 6, hiding behind victims and witnesses in Ryan Zink case that incriminates Capitol Police and sedition hunters, Jonathan Gross reports. It turns out the United States government is doubling down on its efforts to keep the true story of January 6, 2021 shrouded in secrecy, as evidenced by a recent court filing opposing January 6 defendant Ryan Zink's motion to lift a protective order on discovery materials filed on April 16, 2025 in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The government's 13-page brief claims that releasing these materials would endanger witnesses and victims and threaten national security. Check this out. Here's what we have. Watch.
West Terrace on the outside railing of the stairway. He is sprayed in the eyes with an inflammatory agent. Vargo reacts by heading back down the way he came when he is shoved off the wall by Officer Bryant Williams, leading to a 25-foot drop. Some will call this an attempted murder. Vargo is carried away on a makeshift stretcher by officers and bystanders. Vargo suffered a fractured ankle and extensive mid-foot injuries that would require surgeries to repair. He lives with constant foot pain, pain in the middle of his spine, and suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder that causes him flashbacks and nightmares of being pushed off the railing.
Wow. I mean, look, this stuff's pretty insane. The truth is, look, the justice has not been made for January 6th. So many people are still in absolute, shambles. People committed suicide over this stuff. It was trying to make people seem like they were terrorists. You shouldn't be allowed to get away with something like that. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, that being said, do you lack a conscience, a soul, and a heart? Hannity obliterates Taylor Lorenz for gushing over accused murderer Luigi Mangione while refusing to condemn political violence. We have the video here from Jim Hoft, who reports they were together. And, well, you tell me what you think about this interaction.
Hilarious to see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America, as if we don't lionize criminals, as if we don't have, we don't stand murderers of all sorts, and we give them Netflix shows. There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and angles that sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this. And I can tell you, I saw the biggest audience growth that I've ever seen, because people were like, oh, some journalist is actually speaking to the anger that we feel.
The women who got her outside court in New York.
So you're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like, here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems like this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Yeah, I just realized women will literally date an assassin before they swipe right on me. That's where we are. I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter, but some of how people cannot understand why people have sympathies for Mangione strikes me as the same as a lot of media not understanding why people support Trump.
I totally agree.
It's because a lot of people are just really, really desperate.
They want somebody to take on the system. They want somebody to tear down these barbaric establishment institutions.
Right. Somebody's got to take it down. It's absolutely insane that she would speak like this. Taylor Lorenz, why are we giving her airtime? Why are we even playing this on the show? I have no idea. Now, that being said, family and friends of former Arkansas Senator Jon Woods begs the president, Trump, for a pardon as he fights for his life after botched prison heart surgery. Turns out the former Arkansas State Senator Jon Woods, a conservative fighter and one of the first elected officials in the nation to endorse Donald Trump in 2016, is now clinging to life after an emergency heart surgery that went horribly wrong. And his family doesn't even know where he is. Woods, 47, has been locked up in federal prison since his politically charged prosecution nearly a decade ago, a case initiated by Jack Smith, the same Obama-Biden DOJ hitman now targeting Trump. But then Smith led the DOJ's public integrity section and allegedly targeted Woods for daring to support Trump in a state that made the political careers for the Clintons. The Trump administration has been cleaning up the public integrity section and its den of vipers. This is the department that went after Eric Adams after he challenged the Biden administration's open borders policies that were causing crime in New York. This department was filled with deep state snakes that operated as political persecutors for left-wing elites. Disgraced DOJ attorney Robert Herberly was also spearheaded to cover up evidence of the 2020 voter fraud, was quietly forced out of the department in February. Woods, among several forgotten political prisoners targeted by Obama and his allies, have been hopeful to get a pardon since President Trump's historic victory over the deep state. Now Woods' health has collapsed after receiving the COVID vaccine, and his friends and family are making an emergency appeal to President Trump to pardon him before it's too late. The FBI agent admitted to destroying evidence. The case against Woods long smelled of political revenge. One of the FBI agents involved in this case, Agent Robert Cesario, pleaded guilty to destroying critical Brady evidence that could have exonerated Woods. Cesario walked with 3 years probation. Woods, by contrast, is serving an outrageous 18-year sentence. The judge said that Woods could not use the destruction of evidence because he could not prove that was what was on the destroyed files. And since Woods could not prove that the destroyed evidence would have freed him, the judge ruled it was irrelevant to the case. This is so crazy. The more you hear about how crazy our country is insane. Woods and his allies claimed the evidence would have shown the disgraced FBI agent was coaching witnesses to lie and were also coordinating a conspiracy to frame him as a strong ally of President Trump. The federal judge then gave the disgraced FBI agent 3 years probation. The allegation against Woods were that he encouraged a state grant to a Christian college that he was advising. This was a basis for an outrageous 18-year federal prison sentence. According to family sources, Woods was subjected to 7 COVID-19 injections while in prison, not long after he developed atrial fibrillation and was diagnosed with a faulty heart valve. He underwent emergency surgery at a Texas hospital, but the operation led to immediate complications. Surgeons were forced to perform a second 4-hour procedure. That was the last time anyone heard anything. Since then, his family says that they have been cut off, denied visitation, denied information, and told nothing about his condition or even his location. Jon is fighting for his life, and we don't even know where he is, said one of Woods' close friends, speaking anonymously out of the fear of retaliation. This is cruel, this is inhumane, and it's time for President Trump to act. He stood with Trump, now he needs his help. You know, it's kind of crazy. I didn't even know about this. This is a crazy story. This is absolutely mind-boggling. And it doesn't surprise me. An 18-year sentence for encouraging a grant. So he said, Anthony Carmelo's out right now for stabbing a guy in the heart. And then you encourage a grant for a Christian school you were part of. They put you in prison for 18 years. People think that we aren't a police state, but we actually are. Now, that being said, I want to remind you guys right now that MyPillow is having 2 sales. The first is a closeout sale on Percale bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $25. That's right. You can get the Queen Kings, Split Kings, and California Kings, any size, any color, for $25. 11 colors to choose from. When they're gone, they're gone. The second sale is a new energy drink called Rev 7, a premium energy drink that is actually good for you. It tastes great and gives you energy all day. Plus, it has no sugar, no caffeine, so you don't experience those jitters and crashes that we've all been through with the other energy drinks. What makes Rev 7 so special is that it's powdered by Cognizin, a premium nootropic that helps fuel your mind and go BHB, which is a primary ketone in your body that provides the most efficient and cleanest fuel ever. MyPillow is so confident that you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time, you can try their introductory 3-pack absolutely free. These amazing offers won't last long. Order now. Just go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Elijah, or call 1-800-210-8491 today. Now, that being said, Congressman's extended hospitalization causes problems. You can read more of that story at thegatewaypundit.com. Don't forget to join our mug club. Grab one of these amazing mugs, and you financially support us and support your morning with a cup of coffee or tea in a cup from our store. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.